In the beginning, we see that a girl named Fuss is working as a waitress in a small tea house. Ryujiro, a special guard and the son of a local governor, teasing an old man at the tea house. When Fu tries to stop him, she is opposed by his guards. Later, a samurai named Mujin arrives at the tea house and Fu asks him for the order. But he only asks for water, and Fu denies that we cannot serve only water to the customers for free. Then he offers her some money. When Fu takes a drink towards Ryujiro, she slips and the drink falls on his face. This makes him furious, and his guards capture her instantly. Then he wants to cut one of her fingers to test his new sword. But before he could do that, Fuss calls Mujin for help. Then he saves her and kills all the guards and cuts one of the arms of Ryujiro. Meanwhile, Ronin-jin, a new samurai in town who had killed the guards of the governor, arrives at the tea house. And unfortunately, Mujin gets into a fight with him as well, as he is a seasoned swordsman with some special ability. None of them gives an inch during the fight, but their fight ends up destroying the tea house and killing the son of the governor. For their crime, both the samurais are captured by the governor, and he decides to torture both of them to death. Hence, they suffer a lot in the custody of that governor. Later one day, Fuss comes to the jail and tries to set both of them free only if they would help her find a samurai that smells like a sunflower. But before she could unlock their door, the guards arrive and she runs away. But she goes to purchase some bombs to blast into the samurai's prison and reaches the governor's house and tries to break in. On the other hand, the two samurais are taken in front of the governor so that they beg pardon from him. But both of them deny that. The governor orders the guard to cut their heads, but they manage to be free from the guards and start killing them together. Meanwhile, Fuss blasts some bombs there from the roof, and the blast allows both of them to escape. After getting free, the two want to continue their previous fight and kill each other, but Fuss follows them and asks for the promise they had made with her. But they want to kill each other first. Then Fuss makes a toss that if she wins they will help her, and if she loses they could do whatever they want. However, Fuss wins the toss and all of a sudden the guard arrives to capture them so that they run away. Episode 2, Ryujiro goes to Oniwaka, a prisoner with a scary face, and offers him that if he will help him he will manage to set him free. He agrees to it and therefore Ryujiro escapes along with Oniwaka. Ryujiro wanted to take revenge on Mujin for cutting his arm. Afterwards, Fuss, Mujin and Ronin-jin are seen. They try to collect some money to eat something, but they randomly start fighting. Then Fuss reminds them of the promise. Afterwards, they ask Fuss about the samurai who smells of sunflower. She does not tell them anything and takes them to a hotel where they could buy only one plate of bun. But before they could eat them, they were taken by an eagle. Then Mujin joins some bandits sitting beside them, and they offer him that if he kills Orge for them they will give him money. But Fuss tries to remind them of the promise, but he gives a sleeping drink to Fuss. As a result, she falls unconscious. Ronin-jin also discusses something with one of the bandits. However, they leave the place taking the sleeping Fuss on a cart. They head towards the jungle and they seem angry at Fuss. At that moment they see a young woman there who needs some help with her slippers. Mujin fixes them and asks for the repayments. She takes him to her home and wants to have some romance with Mujin. Fuss remains sleeping on the cart outside and later she is taken by Ryujiro and Oniwaka. On the other hand, Ronin meets a man from the tea house and has a bath in a lake with him. The man asks about the samurai who smells of sunflowers. Later, Oniwaka and Ryujiro are faced by some soldiers, but Oniwaka kills them easily. Then Oniwaka guards Fuss in a hut and asks her if she is scared of his face. She replies she is not scared and that she can see the pain in his eyes, and it makes him move. The following night, Mujin starts a romance with the woman, and the woman cheats on him and attempts to give him poison through a kiss. Some of the poison gets into his body. After he gets scared by Mujin, she reveals that Ryujiro has the antidote. He runs toward him and starts fighting him. But this time Ryujiro manages to defeat him, but Fuss attempts to save him. Due to this, Ryujiro is about to kill her, but Oniwaka kills Ryujiro and saves her. But Mujin kills him without listening to Fuss. On the other hand, Ronin fights with the guy from the tea house for some reason, but the person leaves in the end. Here Fuss feels very disgusted that Oniwaka is going to die. She asks him why he saved her. He replies that you were not scared of me and I was not alone. Episode 3. In the morning, Ronin-jin and Mujin start a fight again. Meanwhile, Fu comes and stops them. After that, they start walking together, and upon covering some distance, Mujin and Ronin-jin run away, leaving Fuss alone. Mujin goes to a gang named Nakatomi, where he beats up some men saying you are Yakuza. Observing his abilities, their boss decides to add him to his gang. Then he takes him to a secret place where the people make bets on their money. Mujin learns everything from the boss. In the next scene, a boy named Sasuke is shown studying with a young girl named Asuzu. She observes that her father is in trouble. When she goes to check, he was annoyed by the rival gang for the debt. But seeing Asuzu, they decide to take both of them. On the other hand, Ronin-jin goes to a store owner and asks how he could earn some money. The owner tells him that he has a sword to be hired, and tells about the 2 Yakuza gangs of the town who have a conflict between them, and suggests he be hired as a bodyguard for the Nagatomi gang pays a lot. Meanwhile, that gang arrives there and Sasuke comes and tries to fight them, demanding back his IOU, but as a kid, he couldn't face them. After that, Ronin Jin asks them if they want to hire a bodyguard. He makes fun of him. Then he shows them his unmatched sword skills, so they run away to their boss and tell him about Ronin Jin. Here the boss offers Mujin to become his partner as well, but the prior bodyguard gets angry with Mujin and starts fighting with him. But the boss stops him and orders him to kidnap Asuzu, the daughter of a cabinet maker. On the other hand, Fuss tries to search for both samurais, but she runs into a gang member, breaking his base. Then she is captured and taken to the gang territory. Sasuke takes Ronin Jin to his father, who is the leader of the Kawara gang, and tells his father to hire Ronin as their bodyguard. He says that Asuzu is taken by the Nagatomi gang, and refuses to hire Ronin. Then Sasuke himself decided to hire Ronin and raid the place to rescue Asuzu. They both go to the place and think that they will catch us because they know our faces. Then they get in disguise, and when they reach the place where Fuss and Asuzu are imprisoned, they get back to their form. But before they could make Asuzu free, the guards shout that the bodyguard of the Kawara gang is here. Hearing it, Mujin quickly comes and is surprised to see that he was Ronin. They start fighting, and they come to know that Fuss was also kept there. She again shouts to stop the fight, and reminds them of the promise they had made to her. Episode 4, Mujin and Ronin Jin continue their fight. Meanwhile, Sasuke gets inside the cage and orders Asuzu to escape with him, but she denies, and at the moment he is caught by Ishimatsu. The prior bodyguard of the Kawara gang has joined the Nagatomi gang. Then the boss of the Nagatomi gang sends all his soldiers to both of them, but they escape with the help of blasting some bombs. But Sasuke doesn't want to leave Asuzu behind there. However, he is made realized by Ronin that it is not the perfect time to save her. Later in the evening, Ronin and Sasuke sit at the riverside, and Ronin tells him the bitter reality of the world. On the other hand, Fuss offers Asuzu to escape with her, but she denies, saying that it will result in the death of her father. Afterwards, Mujin goes to his boss, and the boss stops him from using his sword, but he becomes angry and instantly leaves the Nagatomi gang and walks away. Later, Sasuke again breaks into the Nagatomi's territory, where he sees that Asuzu is being harassed by a bastard. Without considering anything, he runs and stabs him. Then Ishimatsu captures him and takes him to his father, the boss of the Kawara gang, and tells him that his son has stabbed one of their men, and reveals that they did want to make any bloodshed. But the boss says that he will take responsibility for this matter himself. Then he goes to the boss of the Nagatomi gang to discuss. Nagatomi's boss claims that he wants to solve the matter without bloodshed. He suggested solving it by gambling. According to this, if Kawara wins, Sasuke will be returned, and Nagatomi will take control of Kawara's territory. And if Kawara loses, he will punish his son for what he has done. Mujin, after leaving the gang, thinks of Fuss and returns to the place where she had kept, but she already escaped. The boss of Kawara meets Ronin and gives him a card to deliver to his son. Later, their game starts, and Fuss appears as the game assistant, when she confirms both gangs' bets. But Nagatomi wins, and the Kawara boss stabs a knife in himself as payment for what his son did. But Nagatomi's boss cheats and wants to capture Kawara's territory. Then Mujin arrives and encounters the guards. The boss tries to escape but is killed by Ishimatsu. After that, everyone is rescued. Fuss and Ronin say goodbye to Asuzu and Sasuke. On the other hand, Mujin starts a fight with Ishimatsu and kills him. And the episode ends here.